who saw this project from a distance there at the Cameron County Judge's Office for many years, and now is the Secretary of State. I'm guessing he's probably going to come down here and help to cut the ribbon here pretty soon. Carlos Cascos, the Texas Secretary of State, joining us on 710 KURV. Judge, I'm sorry, Mr. Secretary, thanks for joining us on the Morning News. Why did this project take so long to finish, sir?
Well, it was a $40 million plus project. A lot of entities were involved, local, state, federal, and then you're dealing with a foreign country. Our bridges normally do span 7 to 8 years to build, and there were some hiccups along the way, many beyond our control, many beyond Cameron County or the RMA's control, and we just had to kind of go through it, and I'm just glad it's finally coming to fruition.
So what does it mean for trade? What does it mean for international relations? Now that that's your bailiwick now.
Well, since I've been here for the last several weeks in dealing with Mexican delegations, whether they're consulates or undersecretaries, and I'm planning a trip to Mexico City at the end of the month to continue nurturing that relationship with Mexico. It's a little fragile for different reasons, but I think our nucleus of partnerships is still there. A lot of people may not know, and I certainly didn't know the extent of it, but Mexico is our largest exporting partner at about 35% of all trade of exports between Texas, anybody else. 35% is with Mexico.
Yeah,
it's a huge chunk. It's a huge chunk, and this is going to expedite and strengthen that trade. Now, is it going to increase significantly? The only time will tell. But what it will do, it'll be able to move those goods and services and products a little bit quicker than what we've done in the past. And then also, finally, I mean, we got a lot of those rail lines outside of the city of Brownsville, which we've had for.
And I'm wondering if it's enough, Judge, because with NAFTA trade and all the car manufacturers that are ramping up production down there, and other industry, consumer goods, raw materials, components, all that type of stuff, it seems to be increasing exponentially as far as trade. I mean, do we have enough with the rail bridge? Do we need more rail?
We can't ever have enough international crossings, and what we need to recognize that we have 28 ports of entry on the land side. We have now 7 rails throughout the border, throughout the 1,254 some odd miles. We can never have enough, but the more important issue is, aside from building out additional international bridges, what we have to do is make sure that the infrastructure is adequate on this side, and of course on the Mexican side, to be able to move these this commerce quickly. If we don't have the infrastructure built up along the border and even our coast, if we don't have the infrastructure, you may end up with a lot of bottlenecks in certain areas, and so we have to make sure that we continue with that infrastructure investment.
We're talking about the new rail bridge that will be connecting Brownsville and Matamoros very soon, connects over to the port of Brownsville. The ex-Cameron County judge and the new Secretary of State for Texas, Carlos Cascos, our guest on 710 KURV.
Yeah, Judge/Secretary, Tim Sullivan here.
Hey, man.
Hey, how's Austin treating you, by the way?
I like Austin. I don't know anybody up here, really a whole lot. All my friends are gone. But I'm still getting here. I get here at the Capitol at about 6:45, 6:50 a.m. I leave, where I'm living at 6:30 in the morning, and about 11 miles out. If I leave after 6:45, I'm stuck in traffic for 45 minutes.
Yeah, how's that working for you?
Yeah, well, it's not bad. I mean, as you all know, I was at the courthouse, by 7 a.m. every day, so this is just a little bit farther drive. Austin's a growing. There's a report just out. Hays County, which is our neighbor to the south, is growing. I was in Pearland. Their community is growing. With really all of Texas. 5,700 people came in last month alone.
Yeah.
Unemployment is starting to dip down a little.
There's
bit.
going to be no space at all between Austin and San Antonio.
Well, I tell you what. Every discussion that I've had with groups has been about infrastructure, and of course the complaint is traffic congestion. And my response is, would you rather have none? Would you rather have no traffic, no trucks?
Right.
It's a sign of the economic prosperity that we're facing, that Texas is going through.
Well, speaking of that, and getting back to the topic of the rail bridge, the trade benefits are pretty clear, but what about benefits to just, the regular folks in Brownsville and the emergency responders, too, for that matter, no
more
longer
delays.
getting stuck at a rail crossing?
Well, those are the some of the tangibles that a lot of people may not be able to recognize. I think moving the tracks out of Brownsville. I mean, I think people now drive them and they don't give it a second thought because it's been like that for a while. But there was a time when I think Harlingen still has some of that problem every now and then. I think they have it daily. But in Brownsville there was always a trains going through, stalling traffic. I mean, there's still some issues over by the old Amigoland Mall. But again, it's something that we haven't been able to keep up with the surge in growth. And even if you talk to TxDOT, they'll tell you, the population growth that we've seen over the last 10, 15 years was not within our projections that when we were out constructing. So now we have to figure out whatever we anticipate it's going to be, add another 20% to it, as an example. So
when was the last time an international rail bridge was built?
I don't know the exact date, but it was about 101 years, 102 years ago.
Seriously?
Was the last one.
Geez.
I mean, even though it took all this time, on the Mexican side it was about an $80 million project. They had to move their switch yard. Ours was about $40 million, $120 million combined. You're bound to have some issues and some problems. But much to Cameron County's benefit, we are really the entity that is constructed successfully international projects, such as the rail bridge now, the Veterans Bridge, the Los Indios Bridge. We've been able to know what we do, but this one was a little bit different. There was a lot of challenges, but a lot of entities came together and finally, saw the deal come to a complete.
Rail connections tend to be vast. I'm wondering if in Mexico, all of these connections go to the Pacific side of Mexico to bring some trade from,
there's a lot of things that are happening that many of us really don't follow very closely. You mentioned the automobile manufacturing that's going on in the central part of Mexico. You've got major automotive plants starting up, building down there by León, Guanajuato, in that area. You've also got the expansion of the Panama Canal that's going to be a big deal probably in the next year or so. There's a lot, the highway from Mazatlan to the border. There's a lot of things going on that I don't know if the planets are aligned or I don't think we're doing enough really to take advantage of.
Yeah, we are. It seems just with all the headlines that are your head is just spinning with all the news that's coming out as far as business, and you can definitely tell we are behind the curve here and trying to catch up to make sure that we're at the nexus. We're at the right at the middle.
And it's not too late. But a lot of it, just about everything we do is subject to one key component: money. And everything revolves around funding, and sometimes we have to kind of look past our nose and look way down the road to see where we need to be invested.
Hey, you coming down here for the ribbon cutting to this thing?
I don't know when it is. I've got a really busy April. I'm out a lot. I'm going to try.
Oh, so now, you're too busy for the little people who help put you up there. Yeah.
I am the little people.
Thanks, Carlos. Carlos Cascos, Secretary of State for Texas, joining us on 710 KURV.